Welcome back to Give 'em Chances Farm. This morning we're out here putting a round bale out for the cows. We got some snow yesterday and a little bit overnight. Temperature about 28 degrees this morning. But as you can tell, the ground temperature is still warm enough that it's still soft out there, even walking, much less driving the tractor. I mean, you can see the track all the way out with the tractor, but just walking, you're sinking into mud. So everything's still soft. Got that little crust layer of the snow over top, but it's not enough to freeze the ground yet. Yesterday, before the snow came in, it was like a mist and rain. Then it transitioned into snow. So it's that time of year where the weather's it's still going up and down on temperature. So until we get it down and stay down, then the ground's gonna be a mess. But they needed a bale of hay, so you get it out there, and then springtime you go back in and you fill the ruts in if you have to. So it's part of it, but we still try to do the same thing we do every time. Is we go out there, and if Brittany brings the camera over here to the side just a little bit, you can actually still see past the rear of the cows where the last bell was. They're just a little bit out there.
About behind that cow's butt.
Yeah. And basically what'll happen is, this is new, so they'll be up here checking it out. And then either later on today or tomorrow, you'll see them gradually go back and clean that last pile up. So we'll see what we can get accomplished this year as far as our bale grazing goes. We've been trying to fill in holes in the pasture to help the soil out. And then we'll see about
Bless you.
whether we need to reseed or any of that come springtime. So if you guys caught yesterday's video, we're looking for help on naming the new calf. Michaela's picked out 2 names. We'll tag that video into this one. So far she has, what's the 2 names you have?
Mickey and Navajo, but
Okay.
I'm also open for other suggestions
Okay.
that anybody has for us.
A lot of our cattle around here has either like an ice cream flavoring name or
an
a
Indian.
Native American name. So we have like Cheyenne, we had Cherokee.
Yep. We had Sunday as
Yeah, we had
dessert,
Sunday, chocolate.
Hershey.
Hershey. So the mother of this one's name is Cheyenne. So
And sometimes we name it
And
after
her name is Cheyenne Chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's named after her dad and her mom. So
Yeah.
but we got
We also name a few of our cows after our family members. that
yeah,
died.
you do, because you have Rosie after
And Faith.
Rosemary, and Faith after your sister.
Yep.
All right.
We had 2 rows.
Well, you had Rose, and now you have Rosie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we sold Rose, so. Alright. Topping off the chicken water.
And here comes, I think, the rest of them coming in. Maybe.
How do they tolerate the snow?
Well, some of that snow's melted out there already, so.
Okay, you can go put the water bucket.
Alrighty.
Big one in it? Yep, open there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
So one's outside still?
One's still outside. Whoop.
I will go out there and run it in so you can shut it down. There's one chicken.
All right, so let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we should have 14 chickens, so that means one of them is still outside. And the girls are Tony went out there to get him to come in. Oh, there we go. Yeah, with it being colder and with the time change we've had, the daylight we have here, it usually gets dark about 6 o'clock or a little bit before. So what we try and do is bring them in, and then during the day I'll leave the light on when we come out here. Some days when it's still dark out in the morning, I'll flip the light on. That way it gives them extra light for, what is it supposed to be?
14 hours of sunlight helps them with their egg laying.
Yeah. And we can tell that they've kind of slowed down on this. Because, did you see how many eggs was in that basket?
3.
And yesterday we only got 2, and the past, like last week, we was getting 4 a day. So
Come on in, Tay.
they are slowly starting to slow down.
Yep.
And as you can tell, the difference between morning feeding and night feeding, it warmed up enough that my tire tracks have water in it. So I told you this morning everything was just a little bit covered on top with snow, but the ground was still warm.
It's okay.
The water tank is filling up now.
One of the goats.
So, speaking of goats, we did the other day. It was yesterday. Yesterday we put hot chocolate on the goat stand. Made an appointment for her to get live breeding. So we put her on there and did a cedar.
And that was fun trying to get that in.
And that was our first time ever putting a cedar into a goat. So, basically I kind of look at it as the equivalent of trying to put that cedar into a bucking bronco yesterday, because that's about what she did. I know you guys from previous videos, you've seen sometimes when we put her on the milking stand, and even when we were milking her regularly, if she'd run out of feed, she'd kind of dance around. Well, yesterday, trying to place the cedar, we put a feeder in front of her, put some feed in it. But as soon as we got back there to where we needed to be to place that cedar, even using, a paper towel to make sure you wipe it off, make sure nothing was in the way first, and then you'd get anywhere close to her with that cedar, she would hop from side to side, jump up in the air, try to kick whatever she could do to kind of get us away from that area back there. So it ended up taking Brittany and I both to get her to where we could get her into a position she would stay in that same position to be able to get that cedar placed. We were successful on getting the cedar placed. Our appointment to get her bred is on Sunday, December 13th. So since we're new to goats, I went and used the goat gestation calculator that they have on the Dairy Goat website, and it basically said if she gets bred on the 13th of December, she should kid March 12th. Or I'm sorry, May 12th, not March. I was thinking the wrong kid's birthday, but the day after Michaela's birthday, actually. So, so that way, we'll see. We're hoping for it to come out as a girl. That way
Or twins.
Taylor will have one to register as well.
Or twins.
And that will give us another goat to be in the herd that'll be a registered Toggenburg. So we are looking forward to that. It's a new adventure to us, and actually, if that does happen, that'll actually only be the second kidding ever at this farm. So
At least
um,
we'll go.
a few years back, before we were into YouTube, when the girls were still in like mini 4-H, we purchased some fainting goats, and one of the doeling that we picked up, she actually was accidentally bred, and they didn't even know it before we got her. So she actually had a kid, and the girls actually showed the kid. We called it Lucky. So we ended up turning him into a wether, and he ended up staying with us for a little while until we decided at that time they didn't want the meat goats anymore, so we ended up selling them off. So it's part of it. I mean, it all comes around in the end. This year they made the decision to get dairy goats, so they initially actually wanted a dairy cow, and Brittany and I slowed them down a little bit and talked them into starting out with a little bit smaller dairy animal, so we went with the dairy goat. So
It's still hard work.
it is. So just think that dairy goat only has
2 teats.
2 teats to milk, and it's only producing, well, she was producing a half a gallon each time we milked.
And
So
we still had leftovers.
you think about a cow that has 4, and you're squeezing, you only have 2 hands, right? Versus the goat, you guys shared, so you did 1 hand squeezing and the other person doing 1 hand squeezing. Versus a cow with 4, you'd have both hands squeezing.
And on days that you guys went and spent the night, then
Mommy'd
I'd
have to do all of it.
4 teats all by myself. We'd definitely be getting a milker then.
Yeah. So that's what we got going for us in the future. Also, if you've noticed, we've started doing a few more wood turning videos. For those of you that haven't seen those, you check those out. I'm lucky enough to be using what was my grandfather's wood lathe and some of his tools. I have upgraded to a couple of our own tools because I like the carbides better, especially for the smaller detail work. So the girls are learning to do it too, so that's kind of special to me to be able to get them on video of them actually using their for them it'd be their great grandpa's tools. So that's kind of special to me. So hope everybody enjoys our videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on social media with all your family and friends. Comment on these videos. We'd enjoy talking with you, and we look forward to seeing you when we schedule our next YouTube live for this month. So.